Years ago, when I lost my house, I didn't understand at that moment what actually happened in terms of, let's say, my own family environment. I was a bit confused because I grew up on a family that I always felt that they loved me and they truly care about me. So some situations triggered that I lost my house, and despite the fact that there was a way for my family to eventually back me up, and I was honestly counting on that to occur, but that unfortunately didn't happen. And at that moment, I couldn't really believe. I was, um, let's say, I was speechless about the situation because in my heart I felt that they would always back me up and care about me no matter what. And if there were resources for that to occur, I was puzzled around why not. And I started to ask a lot of questions around this, to essentially the whys of things to go the way they did. Why wasn't I actually being backed up by them? In a way, today I understand that everything unfolded on its best way, and all of that actually allowed me to step into my own power. And at the same time, I was backed up for like by other family that was not my blood family, but they just backed me up just as I was one of their family. And that really hit my heart because, in a way, I kind of lost hope around what I believed on my blood family. But at the same time, I witness how people that may not be your family can just help you in such a beautiful way and provide for you just like you are from their own blood. So I understand that family today for me is the ones that are there for you or for others when it's actually needed, is the people that truly love you and care about you. And on toughest moments in your life, the ones that will stay are the ones that you can count on, probably for the rest of your life. And that's your family. At least it's how it is for me. And it will always be. I shall remember all of those that were there the moments I needed the most. But yeah, these questions that I start to ask to try to figure it out what happened, because I didn't know what my family, my blood family, was actually speaking or thinking or saying. I didn't know. And so I naturally ask a lot of questions like, why did that happen? Why didn't really happen the best way? Why wasn't I backed up by them? I even question if I was doing something wrong at that moment by the time I lost the house. I question if I did something that triggered that, and because of, let's say, myself to behave on a bad way, that could be my punishment in a way. So I question everything. And then I started to get information, I would say probably around sleep time or via dreams. I was just getting downloads of information around the incidents and the repetition of the story over and over again. I took some time, some like months, I would say, intensively on this situation, in which I was gathering new information every day, I was getting an understanding around each person's perspective on the story. I was getting their thoughts, their words, and their actions. I was accessing everything without really ever thinking that was possible in the first place. So I was astonished by what was happening because at that moment I didn't really believe in a God. I didn't believe in a source of power within us. So I couldn't understand how could I actually access these things, but they were being downloaded. And today I got to understand that this is possible for everyone. As long as you intend to gather information around a situation in your life or around people, in that case, I just wanted to understand the why for that to occur that way. I never wanted to see what they were thinking or speaking on my back or thinking about my own person. That was never my intention. I just wanted to get an understanding for myself so that I could find peace with the situation. And I understand today that's the reason that I got the access of all the information. Because if you intend to access the information, everything you want, you can access, is there for you to access. This is not something that is special on anyone. And I can promise you that because I was never ever witness any sort of power or capacity on my own to actually get that thing to occur. But the truth is that I got to understand the whole situation and why everyone was saying and thinking, even without me to be present. So, as long as your intention is the good one, as long as you just want to figure it out to then carry on with your life the best way, the access will be open for you. If you intend to access information just to sneak upon what other people are thinking or saying about you, you cannot access that information because that serves the ego, that serves the selfish purpose of your own personal agenda. And that is not the point. The point is for you to grow and develop yourself in the best way and to enrich yourself with an experience that can translate in you to understand better how the world and everything really works. So that's why I could access all of this. And I know that today they may not understand my point because this situation caused an attraction. And this attraction, in a way, they cannot understand my side because they don't know what I know. They don't know what I accessed without intending to. And so, after all that, I discarded the possibility of me to do something wrong because I was even witnessing on similar time frames downloads of information of people that were like people not even related to me, but people doing really bad stuff, like being related to drugs and thefts and things that were generally not considered properly good things to do. But the point was their family was backing them up no matter what. I was accessing this information, and then I was understanding that that information itself was showing me that when true love exists within the family, no matter what you do, people will always be there for you and people will always love you. So I got to understand actually the meaning of true love by witnessing what true love wasn't. That was my teaching there. And at the same time, I was experiencing that so that I could transform my own power and empower myself to actually unleash my true potential, in which I could access whatever I choose to in my life, in terms of all the resources that could be available for me, just by considering my own self as the one to self provide. So, life in a way also wanted to teach me that I shouldn't really rely on others. And even a good friend of mine, on a conversation, he spoke this to me, and he told me to never rely on anyone nor myself to actually back me up on the toughest moments. Because you may be relying on people that you think they love you, but when something really bad happens, they just walk away. And then you are left out thinking you would be backed up by them. So the principle is for you to actually figure it out by yourself in all the situations, that you should only rely on you and that's it. At the same time, is an entanglement in which the people that are there for you, the people that truly love you, will show you that there is true love in the world. There is people you can really rely upon and you can trust no matter what. So, should you trust on people? It really depends. But as you learn through life experience, you start to read people better. You start to understand what they really are and what they feel and what they think naturally by the way you feel when you are on their presence, by the way you feel when they speak to you. You can actually improve these things. You can, in a way, read their minds, not by word, but you can understand their intention when they speak. You can understand if they're telling you the truth or if they're lying to you. You can actually get good at this to the point in which you can know the truth, even if people try to convince you otherwise. The truth is, if you witness some moments in your life in which people lied to you, or you tried to blindfold yourself in a situation because you felt you knew the truth, but you just decided to take the lie instead, and you always felt there was something off, but you decided to take a course that was going against your intuition. And this is something telling you, your intuition is telling you the truth. So if you have a feeling that someone is lying to you, that is the truth. If you have the feeling that someone is telling you the truth, that is the truth. So this is all about understanding the feelings that are actually being triggered on the moments you are living. For example, today I eat on a very specific way. I used to have a way of eating that was approaching a healthier diet, and I was cognitively looking for things to eat so that I could improve my diet. But then, as things develop naturally, I start to understand that some people can eat certain things that are good for them, but yet they may not be good for you at all. Because we're all different. And this means that what we want for our bodies will also be different. So, how can you actually know what to eat? And it's actually very simple. If you pay attention when you're eating, which means you have to be focused or not distracted by anything when you're eating, and you will understand that if you eat slowly, if you take your time eating, just eat on a natural way, don't eat like running, you will understand that there's foods that will make you full quite fast. There's foods that you eat and you feel really well. There's foods that will make you with a big time on digestion. There's foods you like in the mouth, but then you don't feel as good when you are doing the digestion. And this is telling you what to eat, what not to eat. So the things that feels good and are easily digestible are the things you should focus more on to eat on your daily basis. And the things that provide other feelings are the ones you should be avoiding. And if you go like this day by day, a little by little, you'll understand that naturally your diet will fit your own person. And for example, there's even things that it may be good for you and you are not eating today. But for some reason, you go to the supermarket and you don't even understand why. You are looking at a certain food that is on the supermarket, kind of focusing on that food, and you're not even used to eat that. And if you buy that product and you eat it, you will probably feel that it really feels good, which means your intuition is telling you, is guiding you on your diet to tell you something for you to add up to your diet or to change between what you're eating and something new that you should just replace. So, paying attention to everything in our lives is the key to improve our lives. And again, as long as you really are paying attention to what you feel and stop applying the brain processes of thinking what you should do or you have to do, because the brain cognitively goes on repetition pattern, which means every time you're thinking about what you should do or you have to, you're just going by the repetition of the previous actions you are taking on daily basis. And that thing it's by itself doesn't really help you to improve yourself. What helps you is to follow the intuition. As long as you follow it and you pay attention, you will understand that your life will improve on ways that you cannot predict today. And naturally, you will have a much better life, and it will be just adding up small things on a daily basis.